What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs? You're listening to the brand new Hardcore Geek Wrestling. And as always, I'm your host, Ryan, a.k.a. Mr. Showtime. Right now, I am joined by the one and only Mr. Chase Merriman. What's going on, man?
Good evening, hello, world.
I know, right? We're live right here on iHeartRadio and on Spreaker.com. And, yeah. Also our YouTube page as well. So.
YouTube, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's this interesting quick YouTube story? Yeah, we go from political ads to I had a Scientology ad today while watching.
Oh, did you really?
Video.
Oh my
so
god!
Like my YouTube ads have gone now from politics to religion. Can't wait to see what's next after that.
I know, right? I mean, I just want to watch just like a game walkthrough or like a a freaking cat video, and without seeing a political ad.
I was like literally like I think I posted in like how to make chicken the other day, and it was like talking about Hillary Clinton's America. I'm like, I just want to know how to make chicken. I don't care. And then like the other one was I was watching like trying to get some music video like posted, and it's like here's what Scientology does. I'm like, I just want to watch Jim Croce, okay?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, so, well, I mean, the election's over. We're not really going to talk elections other than we have a WWE Hall of Famer as our president. That's kind of weird, right?
It's so weird.
So let's talk about this. If you could pick any other WWE Hall of Famer to be the commander-in-chief, who would you pick?
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Why Pete Rose?
I don't know, because I love Pete Rose.
He's an idiot. Oh, are you kidding me?
I mean, I guess, well, are we going wrestler then?
Yeah, I'm talking wrestler. I'm not talking celebrity wings.
Okay.
Celebrity wings a fucking joke.
Wrestler, probably, well, it has to be born in America, so technically Bret Hart is ruled out.
Bret Hart is ruled out.
Bruno Sammartino's ruled out.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Warrior's dead. Hulk Hogan has too much scandal. Oh, wait a minute. Well, of course, then. Look, I'm talking, our Commander-in-Chief. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Is it?
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. Okay.
Yeah, I love Jesse Ventura. He would be probably...
But would he be worried that everything's a conspiracy, though?
Our current soon-to-be Commander-in-Chief is the same way, so...
Oh, he thinks everything's a conspiracy, too?
Pretty much. So.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Jesse the Body Ventura... For sure.
Okay.
I think he's in, isn't he?
I think he is. I think he went in like 2004.
That's right.
I'm almost positive he did.
I mean, it's really hard. I guess
I'm too lazy to look it up. I'm
Dusty
sorry.
Rhodes is dead, so we can't really put Dusty Rhodes in.
Vote the American dream, baby. I wine and dine with kings and queens. Step in the alley and eat them pork and beans.
Ric Flair would be my guy.
Ric Flair would be great.
He would like make sure everybody got the Space Mountain some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I'd have to say...
He did write himself in for president. Did you see that?
I did see that. That's kind of funny.
So, yeah. So, Ric Flair, I'm going to say, is the safest bet because he's Ric Flair and he's awesome.
Okay. So, who would I have? Let's see. I would have to go with my man, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
Just because I wanted to see him get when he gets for the inauguration. I want them to play Sexy Boy. I think that would be fantastic. That's just my opinion. So we got the political talk out of the way, guys. I want to welcome you to
November.
Happy November. I want to welcome you to Hardcore Geek Wrestling right here on the Hardcore Geek Network. We got our network now. It's kind of cool. Home of the
awesome.
Yeah, it's home of the Hardcore Geek Podcast, Hardcore Geek Wrestling. We got some other ventures coming up soon as well. So this is.
Jealous you're going to go see Doctor Strange.
I am going to go see Doctor Strange tomorrow. I'm so excited. This is like, it's almost midnight, and I have to get up to go to breakfast tomorrow. So that's...
It's okay. I have to get up and go to work.
I can't. I feel bad.
We're still young enough. We're not 50s yet.
Yeah, right. So before we get into, our subject for today, for our new listeners, I wanted to make sure that, we can kind of introduce ourselves and stuff like that. So Chase, I've known you for going on 2 years here. Not too long, but I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
I know you're a big pro wrestling fan.
We met at
We met at
a wrestling.
a wrestling event, a Wrestling Geek Fest. That's kind of weird. We have hardcore.
It was. It
was wrestling.
We really talked more at Geek Fest.
Yeah,
I think we went to an AIW show together.
It may have been.
We ran in and just said, "Oh, hey," and then I think it was Geek Fest that we were staying in line together. And you still have your awesome Virgil story.
Oh yeah. So let's see. So it was definitely. I do remember Hardcore Geek, or not Hardcore, Wrestling Geek Fest. Wrestling Geek Fest. Jesus.
Rest in peace.
I know. One and done. That's how we do things.
It's like Kentucky basketball.
I know, right? So, yeah, that was my... I will eventually one day get into my Virgil story. But tell me a little bit about you and like why you fell in love with the world, the wacky world of professional wrestling.
Well, let's see. We're both the same age at 32. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, which I guess back in the day before I was born was a huge wrestling city. Apparently, that's where Macho Man Randy Savage was born. And basically, I got into wrestling when I was young, around the late 80s, when they had Saturday Night's Main Event was on NBC, and the first wrestler that you really learned about was Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan was in everything in the late 90s. And so I kind of got in from that. My first wrestling show, Hulk Hogan wasn't even on the card. It was 1991, and the main event was like Sergeant Slaughter versus like Macho Man Randy Savage in a steel cage. There was a young Undertaker versus Tugboat, and like it was just a weird like wrestling card. But that was my first wrestling event was in 1991, and I seeing Tugboat was cool. Tugboat was awesome, who became Shockmaster, and was also on, what was the other one? Fred Ottman had another weird character in WCW too. But Fred Ottman's the man, though.
He was, we had Shockmaster for sure. Was he Shark, or was that
He was
Earthquake?
Typhoon. That's who he was.
He was Typhoon in WWF. Because Earthquake and Typhoon. He was something else, and I know what you're talking about.
He was also Super Shockmaster.
He was like, he was like Uncle Fred or something like that.
Yeah, Uncle Fred. That's who it was. Yeah,
That's
it was
what
Uncle
it was.
Fred.
Okay.
So I saw him. I saw Undertaker, Jim Powers, Jake the Snake Roberts was there. There was a lot of like 90s wrestlers, but Hulk Hogan wasn't there. Figure that one out. So I saw him. That was pretty cool. And then pretty much I just watched it on and off. And then, once I got my teenage years, I really got into WWE again. And, my favorite wrestler is the Patriot, Del Wilkes version, not the Tom Brady version. So I guess it was like 96, 97 is really when I started to really get into it with like a huge Scotty Riggs and the Flock. The Flock was
Scotty
cool.
Riggs.
The Flock was my favorite in WCW because they were kind of like the outcast.
They kind of were.
And
yeah.
so that was like kind of related to them. Cause
Did you walk around in like a ripped leather jacket and try to rebel against the system?
I tried to, but my mom was kind of like trying to match me up in Abercrombie and Fitch and real pastel clothes. So.
Yeah, there you go. So I want to go back to the Patriot thing really quick because we've talked to Del. And
Del's the man.
Yeah,
talked to him today actually.
Oh right, yeah, you guys are pretty close.
He loves Cleveland, believe it or not.
Cool. See, he was rooting for us in the series.
He was like the only person outside of Ohio that was rooting for the Indians.
I'm sure he was. So like I had this idea, and maybe the next time we can get him on the show. I think I still have his email and everything.
If not, I have it.
Yeah,
I have his contact.
I want to make a proposal. I want him to come back for one match. But I need him to come back as Salvatore Sincere.
Oh.
So he can pay back Tom Brady. But you see what I'm getting at? He's just got to steal his gimmick. He's not going to come back as the Patriot. It's just going to be Salvatore Sincere.
I don't know if Del will go for that.
I think we should at least propose it. I think it's a good idea.
Del he's retired. I don't think he can really wrestle.
He can manage as Salvatore Sincere.
Oh, that would be good. But so like the Patriot is my all-time favorite wrestler, and I really got into it in like the late, like mid '90s again. Like I watched it in early mid '90s, but like I didn't have cable, so I had to go to my grandparents to watch wrestling. Except when it was like on like Saturday Night's Main Event, or like WWE, of course, had like Jacked at like 1 a.m. and so like I would stay up on weekends to watch Jacked, and that's so I could watch the Headbangers and like the Mean Street Posse and like
S.A. Rios.
S.A. Rios. And
I love S.A. Rios.
Oh God, he was awesome. Oh, he's a man. He was Poppy Chulo before
He was also
S.A. Rios.
he's also Aguila.
That's
he
right.
faced Takamichi Inoki at WrestleMania 14.
And like it was just like Jacked and like metal were awesome because they had like Scott Putski. It had like every obscure like guy who was like not like going to be on Raw like wrestled on Jacked. And before that, of course, it was Shotgun Saturday Nights was the other show that was big.
Okay.
And so like I just watched like it was random like WCW. You can watch a couple times WCW on regular TV. But that's pretty much how I really was watching it. I kind of was more of a WWF kid than WCW. I know you were a WCW guy. But for me, it just, I don't know what it was. Do you want me to switch mics? I can switch mics too. Okay. I'm not used to having a mic in my hand. I'm used to using my phone. So it was just one of those things growing up, just watching wrestling in the 90s and stuff. And my first pay-per-view was King of the Ring 2002 that I got to attend, and that was, of course, when Brock Lesnar won it, and then the main event was Triple H versus American Badass Undertaker. That's also where Kurt Angle made Hulk Hogan tap.
Hulkster never taps. Come on. I know, but I remember seeing that. I was a little upset with that.
I went to a lot of Raws and SmackDowns because Columbus didn't really have a big arena until 97, 98.
Gotcha.
And so like we always had like really crappy house shows. So now that's the nice thing is now they have nice big arenas. They have 2 big arenas, and I've seen that. I've been to Cyber Sunday 2006 is still my favorite WWE pay-per-view I attended.
It's kind of a random one, right?
Yeah, Big Show versus King Booker versus John Cena, and that's when Kevin Federline came out so that King Booker could keep his title.
Gotcha.
And that's when Ric Flair and Roddy Piper won the tag titles over the Spirit Squad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was my favorite. I went to WrestleMania 23. That's always special because it's WrestleMania. And now it's going to be 10 years since I went to a WrestleMania, so it's kind of depressing that it's been 10 years. But, yeah, we talk about old school wrestling and stuff like that. You know, I love watching old school Japanese wrestling. But, early Dudleys, Edge and Christian, The Brood.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was just awesome stuff. It was different. It was unique. It seemed like though every match was a DQ.
It was. There was always some kind of weird run-in, and there was always...
It was awesome. Triple H, though. Triple H was like DX. Triple H, like soon to be, I'm going to be a champion Triple H.
Yeah, I like that. And even like the late Hunter Hearst Helmsley stuff, like when he was... I want to say like when he was with China and he was European champion, or not European, when he was the IC champion, he was going against like Goldust and The Rock, Rocky Maivia at the time.
I was a huge fan of the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, I didn't really appreciate them when I was young, but we were talking while we were just hanging out earlier, where I was saying, hey, I was watching some old 1997 Raws, and it's like the factions were really big then. Like we had DX, DX just starting out, but like the Hart Foundation. Like I know you're not a Bret Hart guy, but like the Hart Foundation.
Brian Pillman, man, I love.
Brian Pillman was awesome.
What was the other? What was the?
I was more of an Owen Hart guy. Like I love Bret.
Of course, Hunter, middle name Owen.
Yeah.
What was the? They had. I always forget them. They had like Sniper and the.
That was the Truth Commission.
Truth Commission, yeah,
with Don Callis, the Jackal.
My other favorite one was DOA, Disciples of Apocalypse.
I thought they were. They were kind of a cool gimmick.
They were like Sons of Anarchy before Sons of Anarchy.
They were the original American Badass, and Taker's like, hey, I want to do that. I guess I don't know. Kind of a cool fact about that is that Brian Lee was a member of the DOA, a guy who played the fake Undertaker during the 1994 run with Ted DiBiase. So that's a little bit of little stuff here. Were you a fan of the Los Boricuas?
Yes, of course. Savio Vega.
Savio Vega.
Savio Vega is still in my top 10 of all-time favorite wrestlers of mine.
You had a Miguel Perez Jr. in there.
Oh, he was bad.
I did love the Nation. Because at that point I was probably like 10,
Do you prefer
11.
the Shining Stars or Los Barricos?
Oh, Los Boricuas.
Do you think the Shining Stars are kind of a ripoff?
No,
of
I
Los
think the
Barricos?
Shining Stars are just a big pile of shit. Sorry. Bring back Carlito. That's all I'm saying. I'll trade both of them for one Carlito.
Oh,
How about
man.
that?
How about Carlito joins them? That would be kind of fun.
Then it would probably be better.
It would.
I don't know, anything. So yeah, I know you're a big fan of the the old school stuff.
The current stuff, I don't mind. Like, I'm a huge Jericho. We both agree Jericho is amazing.
You love like the weird,
I'm
just
a
goofy ass
huge-
gimmicks.
I am a huge goofy gimmick guy.
Like, if you're like, okay, we have Seth Rollins over here, but we have Fandango in a chicken suit over here. You're gonna go with Fandango in a chicken suit.
Absolutely.
Because I know this. It's just like you love, and I'll watch them. I appreciate them, but you make a point to watch Superstars
And Main Event.
because they got the lower card guys on
Yeah,
there.
I'm a huge. I love R-Truth. I think R-Truth is awesome.
R-Truth is good. I like him. He's funny.
I enjoy R-Truth, and I mean, honestly, yeah, I've always enjoyed the lower cards, but that's just me. You know, look, let's be honest. The Headbangers. The Headbangers are like we're a low tag team, but they were awesome to watch because they were different.
Yeah.
They were gimmicky, but they were great, and they're actually the coolest dudes outside of wrestling. Glenn is cool. I can message Glenn anytime, and he's like, "Hey, how you
Who's
doing?"
you? I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Thrasher.
Thrasher. Okay.
Glenn
Just
versus
because everybody's.
I
make
know,
sure.
like breaking kayfabe. But yeah, no, honestly, like,
Well, his last name's Thrasher. It's Glenn Thrasher. Yeah. We'll just go with that.
but like you know, like I'm a huge Mojo Rawley fan.
You know, I see those guys. I mean, it's I can get into like. I think like the weird gimmicks from like 95, 96. Those are the ones where I'm like, this is just shit. Like
Bastion Booker,
like
90.
TL Hopper and the Goon.
Dr. X.
Like when Fatu was like the don't do drugs guy. Like what the like really? Why don't you just put on a thong and just put your ass in people's faces because that's going to get you over way more than telling people not to do drugs. Who would have thought that?
Oh man.
Do you have like one fond memory like this is like I need to watch this. This needs to be my thing because you do you still do pro wrestling writing for?
I haven't in for a while. I just don't have a lot of time to do it.
You're the Million Mile Man.
I know. I'm running all the time now. I have no life now. I mean, there's one thing to me that's always was cool. I mean, the chance that, you know, that's a great thing about Facebook because you talk to your favorite wrestlers all the time.
That's all right.
I
friended. I got friended. I think because you're friends with him, Heidenreich.
Yes.
I'm like, why is this the real Heidenreich? Holy shit, the real Heidenreich requested.
Heidenreich.
I want to be like, dude, so what's up with that poetry, man? But I don't want him to like find me and kick my ass. So I'll accept his request and we'll leave it at that.
I mean, I think, you know, Erie was kind of cool. Like when we got to, that was always that's a fun memory for me. I think for us, like we got to go to Erie and like literally park right by where the wrestlers park. I mean, one of my favorite memories is when I met Randy Orton at a TJ's restaurant and he asked if I was gay. That's
a good memory.
It's not a good memory. That's kind of a story I always
random.
think about.
Do you have like a top wrestler that other than Del Wilkes?
I would say
that you've met.
I take that back. My favorite memory was last year at when NXT was really first starting and getting to meet William Regal. To me, that was William Regal is to me.
That was at the Arnold Classic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I about passed out after meeting William Regal. To me,
did you meet Arnold?
I didn't. He was like 5 feet from me now.
Oh Jesus!
I met.
I would have lost my mind.
I didn't meet
Arnold.
Triple H, so to me, that's a memory because I told him I wish I would have had him sign something, but I said, I named my son after you, and he goes, I hope you didn't name him Triple, and I said, no, I named him Hunter, and he goes, well, I greatly appreciate it. So meeting Triple H and William Regal, especially because I told William Regal, to me he's top 5 greatest wrestler. Technical.
Well, he's very underrated. Extremely underrated.
Very underrated. And then meeting Albert, too, and telling him, he goes, well, what about me? And I said, my son is your action figure. And he goes, well, that's good enough. And he was great inside. And meeting Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin was a great guy.
Like, I saying Baron Corbin
and he
was
always,
real cool.
And when he came to Cleveland, he goes, hey, how you doing? Like, to me, that was probably my favorite memory is, meeting my son's namesake. That's always a cool thing. And then really just... just meeting like Tracy Smothers. Like I love talking to Tracy
cool.
about 1993 All Japan. That's with Joel Deaton and the Patriot and Ted DiBiase and Kobashi and Misawa.
Yeah, like the cool thing about Tracy is like if anybody's gone to like some indie shows of Tracy, he's always going to play the heel and he's always going to bash the shit out of your town, and he'll come off as the biggest asshole in the world, but like he's the biggest teddy bear when you meet him. It's like what he was just in Cleveland and he brought the W for the Cubs. I'm like, what an asshole, but I love him.
But I mean, like it's so hard because I met Ric Flair and that's kind of cool. But like to me. It's hard to really say, like, a lot of memories, with your kid, with my son.
Yeah, because you guys go to the shows a lot.
WrestleMania 23, probably meeting Balls Mahoney was a cool thing, too, because he was one of my all-time favorite ECW wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
And it was, when his death really hit me a bit because of the fact that him and Axel Rotten both, passed away this year, and... watch those guys, and so for me, and I look back now, and it's like wow, it's a great memory. I was 23, I was just a new father a month, and I got to go to the Hall of Fame. I saw Dusty Rhodes, and I saw Mr. Perfect get inducted in.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Mr. Perfect to me is the greatest technical wrestler ever.
You also that weekend got to see the most epic of epic matches ever. That would be the Great Khali versus Kane.
So that, yep. And the Melina match that was Ashley. And I got to see Vince McMahon's head shaved against our now president.
Holy shit.
So WrestleMania 23 probably is my greatest memory just because of...
It's crazy.
It's a WrestleMania. I think if you're a wrestling fan, you have to go to a WrestleMania. It's just...
One day.
It's one of those things you just go to. It could probably be like a WrestleMania like 27 bad or like a WrestleMania 9 bad. And it'd still be worth it.
Yeah, I'm still planning. But the original plan was to go.
If it's in Minnesota.
To go this year. Yeah, if it's in Minnesota in 2018, then we'll definitely go. But we'll see.
If it's in Detroit in 2018, we're absolutely going.
We'll see how the things are going. Yeah, I'm going to bring bulletproof vest and maybe try to find a RoboCop so we don't die.
Oh, God. Did you think they should induct RoboCop into the Hall of Fame?
No, I think that's the dumbest shit in the world. They should never do that. Yeah, man, I tell you what, man, I've been a fan myself since I was like, okay, my dad and I used to watch like Sunday Morning Superstars, or I think they were on Saturday too.
Saturday too, yeah.
And I remember like I had the little thumb wrestlers, and
those are the best.
I had like the LGN. I remember I had Roddy Piper, and I had a Hulk Hogan. That might have been the only two I had. And like the one thing I remembered as a kid was like Hulk Hogan's a good guy, Andre the Giant's a bad guy. At the time, because this was 80s.
I saw Roddy Piper twice, too, because I saw him wrestle in 91.
Cool.
I saw him wrestle... who did he wrestle? He's feuding with Mr. Perfect at the time. So I saw Mr. Perfect versus Roddy Piper.
Oh, no shit. That's crazy.
I don't have to look it up.
Yeah.
I was Roddy before Roddy was cool. That's always my favorite saying from him. Rest in peace, Roddy. We miss you.
Yep. Yeah, man. But yeah, I remember watching it with my dad. And, I remember we had, for Nintendo, we had the WrestleMania Challenge game. So we had...
game was amazing.
Yeah, like Warrior Hogan, Macho King, Randy Savage, Rick Rude. It was the first one where you can actually play as yourself and you can go through all the guys and try to beat them. And it was was what it was.
Hall of Fame, hopefully.
I know, hopefully. And then I kind of got out of it. Like I got into like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, girls, all that stuff, right? So I was a new kid, and we had moved, so I was a new kid in school, and they were all talking about WrestleMania coming up, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to fit in, right? I remember my cousin was really into wrestling, so this is right after WrestleMania 12, and I'd been watching.
13 was my favorite.
Oh, 13 was great. My cousin lent me a cassette tape, just taped it off a pay-per-view of WrestleMania 12, and it was obviously the Iron Man match of Bret and Shawn. That's one that for like.
This was like when VHF was easier to tape, I think, than like if you try to do it on a DVD now.
Well, yeah, it's a little tough, but yeah, it was Bret and Shawn, and then I remember my biggest, I think because I'm a big comic book guy, obviously, so like the Undertaker and Mankind, Undertaker and Diesel, that was the big match at that thing, but I was like really big on Taker, and the next night that's when Mankind debuted, so it was like these two comic book just characters, these over the top characters that were kicking the shit out of each other, and obviously Shawn Michaels was doing his thing, and my very first match ever was SummerSlam 1996, and it was just one of those
right in Cleveland.
Yeah, they were coming to town, and my grandfather, God rest his soul, he's like, you want to go? Yeah, I'll get you some tickets. So he got tickets for me, my cousin, my aunt and uncle. We all went to SummerSlam in the fucking nosebleeds, but we didn't care.
Now, here's the thing. Well, that was when they had the Boiler Room Brawl. Like, that had to be kind of weird, though, to watch that Boiler Room Brawl.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. Like, I was still a kid, and I was really sucked into it. Because that was my guy, Undertaker Mankind. So it was weird because they had it on, like, the Jumbotron, which was not the big one that we have now. And then they had TV sets all around ringside. Right. So we watched it there. Eventually, they make their way out, and I remember because there's no commentary, so you can't really.
Do you ever think that
hints.
They'll do a Boiler Room Brawl again?
I think so. I think now with WWE 2K17, with the whole emphasis on backstage brawling, I think they will do that.
I thought for sure that we were going to have a Wyatt versus Randy Orton.
I really did. I thought that too when we were at SmackDown. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's freaking SummerSlam '96, and then
Vader and Shawn Michaels.
Vader and Shawn, that was a big one. And then, yeah, I was just hooked, man. Like, I watched that, and WCW. WCW was a big thing because when the Attitude Era hit in, I lived with my mom at the time, so she was, like, really strict on, like, they had swearing and beer and girls flashing her tits and stuff like that.
WCW was the conservatives.
I mean, not really, but, I mean, it wasn't as out there. So I was allowed to watch WCW. Remember, my mom would actually watch it. That was, like, the only time my mom... Yeah. It's what it is, right? But I remember my mom let me eventually order WrestleMania 15, and this is like I mean, this pay-per-view. This is expensive shit.
What
right?
was that? Oh, what was it?
99. Rock and Austin.
That's right. Rock and Austin won.
And
can you believe that was WrestleMania 15? Like to think about that was literally like
that was a long time ago.
That was a long time.
Think about it, yeah. But man, I remember. I was allowed to get they had the off-brand wrestling shirts where they didn't have the bad words on them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I really wanted a DX shirt that said "Suck It," but I was never allowed to get the "Suck It" shirt.
It's like Stone Cold. Yeah, the same thing with Stone Cold. It used to say Stone Cold had just a smoking skull. You couldn't.
Yeah, the only shirt I had two Stone Cold shirts. I had a generic Stone Cold shirt, and then I had the Blood from a Stone one or whatever, and that was it.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if those shirts would be worth anything.
Oh, I'm sure they would by now. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, those are my memories. And then the other pay-per-view I was allowed to order was that year's Survivor Series, and I was always big on Survivor Series, and the reason for that is my first one I got to see was the '96 Madison Square Garden, where Bret came back, Shawn lost the title to Sid, which was crazy. The next year was the screw job. That's right. And then the next year was the tournament, the Deadly Game tournament.
Oh, that was so bad.
From there, I loved the Deadly Game tournament. So that's the last one I was really.
Brawl for All tournament, yeah.
Deadly
Game was good. Deadly Game had that really cool theme.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, something like that.
Deadly Game. name.
Holy shit! I should never have given you a microphone.
It's on the
It's on the wrestling soundtrack thing.
Soundtrack thing, yeah.
So, our next pay-per-view coming up is WWE Survivor Series. So, it looks like, first of all, this year, it's weird. We're going to 4 hours.
And it's going to be in Canada.
It's going to be in Canada. It's going to be in Toronto, Canada.
So does that mean that there is a screw job?
I don't know. I hope they kind of just stop there. Hey, we're in Canada. Let's do a screw job.
Because they did Montreal screw job with Hogan there.
Yeah, they did do that. I forgot about that. But
Grande.
that was actually Montreal, like where 97 took place. But I mean, we looked at the card earlier. There's 6 matches signed.
There'll be more.
And so, like, do you have? I mean, I'm looking forward to this Survivor Series. I hope it's better than last year's because last year's in that tournament.
I just remember last year you threw everything. You were so
My problem with last year's was that they made it so obvious. So it's like, okay, Roman Reigns won, right? He won with like 20 minutes left in the show. So it's like, okay, well, obviously,
something's going to
Sheamus is going to come down and cash in. And I'm like, I wouldn't have minded if they would have.
The other big thing was that they made it too was about Taker. Like they're like, you knew Taker was going to win. You knew.
I wish they would have put Taker as the main event.
Oh, absolutely.
That would have made me feel a little bit
Taker's
better.
entrance is still probably one of the coolest entrances I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, from Survivor Series. One of my favorite Taker entrances was actually at Survivor Series. It was at 96 where he came down with like the bat wings and all that.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, I'm like, oh, just like Batman, you know, because that was still that was like the almost the end of the Mankind Undertaker rivalry.
When Taker had the like the Phantom of the Opera mask. What was those kind of?
Oh, when he broke his eye socket. Yeah, it looked kind of cool. It's kind of weird. It looks like Phantom of the Opera Taker. It's kind of weird. So you said Survivor Series isn't really your favorite pay-per-view. Why is that?
Royal Rumble has always been.
Royal Rumble's always fun. We do a Royal Rumble pool every year.
I can't wait for January. I don't know why Survivor Series. I think it's just because it's November. Like November, December in wrestling is kind of like because it gets you ready for January.
That's true. Well, now we got like 29,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like for me, Survivor Series never was a big pay-per-view for me per se. I liked the December one, like Armageddon, because they always had like some kind of weird stipulation, like Hell in a Cell or.
Do you like the fact that they're kind of going back to somewhat of like a traditional Survivor Series with all the tag matches?
Oh yeah, because I think it's people like tag matches. They're fun. Probably my favorite one was when they had the DX, and the only time CM Punk I ever liked CM Punk was when he was with the DX.
Oh, 2006, right?
2006. Sorry, CM Punk fans. Yeah, that was about my favorite Survivor Series. But that was when I was really, really, really like getting ready for WrestleMania and all that.
Gotcha.
And that's when DX was back together.
That was like their second run where I didn't like that run because it was too like cookie cutter. It was too
cookie cutter.
It was too PG. You know what I mean?
I loved it because I never got to see the first one live, so it was kind of cool. It's kind of like a band reunion tour. It's kind of like the band that was really huge back in the day. Then they break up and they get back together. But did you know it's kind of like it's a cookie cutter? They're like, oh yeah, they're playing all their hits, but you weren't there from when they first became really popular with their hits.
Yeah, but I want to see Shawn with a "I'd rather be in China" sign. That's what I want to see. I want to see them play strip poker in the middle of the ring, and beat the shit out of Michael Cole. I love bad guy DX.
I think we all still hope for that with Michael Cole. What are you talking about?
So like the whole with Survivor Series, like, do you have like any favorites? Like any like
Undertaker. Anytime Undertaker came out, the first time he came out in '91 was cool. Love that.
With DiBiase and Brother Love.
Brother Love.
Can't stand Brother Love.
I love you.
That's so stupid. That's the stupidest gimmick in the world. Sorry, Mr. Pritchard, but you can suck a dick. Sorry.
Undertaker last year, I just thought it was just cool.
So do you see the Takers coming back before Survivor Series? He's going to be coming back at the SmackDown, the what you call it,
900th.
The 900th.
Is it this Tuesday?
Yeah. So him and Edge will be back.
Edge won't wrestle.
Edge ain't gonna wrestle, but there's rumors that at WrestleMania that Goldberg's going to fight Taker. So could you see that being the screw job, or maybe it looks like Taker's going to come out, take out Brock, takes out Goldberg. Bam. There you go.
Would you? I don't know about.
And then Taker puts on I'm a Paul Heyman guy shirt, and then he puts another one that says I'm a Paul Bearer guy.
I don't want. Honestly, the only two people I want to see Taker face are
John Cena.
John Cena.
Who would be the second one?
Second one would be Jericho.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be. I would like that. I think it's about 10 years too late for that.
I mean, honestly, I think everybody in the world wants John Cena.
Well, it is what it is, man.
Fun? What about Kevin Owens and Taker?
I think Owens would be better against Brock.
Oh,
here's from like a marketing standpoint. You put on the poster, you put the Phenom versus the franchise, Undertaker versus John Cena. Bam, that's it.
Somehow,
and that's his last match. You put the last ride. Bam.
I think. Here's the thing. I think somehow Taker wins the title from SmackDown.
Really?
And that's how John Cena gets the 16th.
No.
It's a passing of the torch.
Here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, John Cena has to hit his 16th title at WrestleMania. John Cena could hit his 16th title at a fucking house show in Roanoke. You know? Who knows?
That's an interesting city pick, but hey.
But, I mean, it could happen anywhere.
It could, yeah.
Or he doesn't have to have 16 titles.
He doesn't. You're correct. He doesn't have to have 16. But
if you're smart booking, if you're going to put Taker, you got to put him against Cena. Because I believe that was the original plan this year before Cena got hurt.
If you want WrestleMania to really sell and to make it, I mean, granted, Dallas would have huge, but you would have to do it literally to bill it, and you'd make it as a main event at WrestleMania, him versus John Cena, and there's a stipulation. That's where Cena wins and Taker retires.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because Ric Flair retired in Florida.
Oh, yeah, but I mean...
Taker retires in Florida.
That could be it. I mean...
Or you wait for one more, and maybe you do Taker and Roman Reigns.
I think Taker and Roman would be interesting, too. I mean, anybody but Brock, anybody but Bray at this time. And I think...
Brock, Bray, Triple H.
Yeah, you don't have to do that again.
Sheamus. Did Sheamus ever face?
No, he wanted to, though.
Sheamus probably would kill Taker because Sheamus likes to.
Sheamus is he's pretty rough around the edges there. Yeah, I guess we'll find out Survivor Series. We have I mean we'll get more in depth like before the pay-per-view next week. You know, we'll do a prediction
Ambrose
show
versus Taker would be kind of funny.
I think your top matches for Mania. And this is just me spitballing before we wrap up here. You're gonna get Taker Cena. You're going to get champion versus champion, AJ versus Balor, because Balor will get the title back.
Good.
You'll get Seth versus Triple H.
Oh, I like that.
And you know what?
I miss Balor. I think that's been a tough reason why Raw's been struggling. It's because
True.
Balor's not on. And I hate to say that, but...
Well, he was only on Raw for a couple of weeks, though.
No, but oh my God, he was awesome. I was there when he freaking qualified to get the Universal title shot.
Yeah. I think
the best Raw ever. Sasha won the title, and freaking Balor got to go be the Universal Champion.
Yeah. I just thought about this. Why don't you do Goldberg versus Roman?
Ooh,
Spear versus Spear.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
And then Goldberg can get the win.
There you go.
Get heel Roman. There you go.
Everybody be happy.
So maybe it'll all start off here. Whoop, I just dropped my headphones there. At the Survivor Series in about a week or so, about a week and 2 days. Before we go, we got about 5 minutes left. Your last minute Survivor Series memories, Survivor Series predictions, Survivor Series anything.
I always thought like the first like Survivor Series, I think it's kind of cool. They took place here in Cleveland area,
Richfield Coliseum.
Yeah. There was some really odd matches.
Was that the one where Andre was the sole survivor, right?
Correct.
Andre won the whole thing.
Andre won the whole thing. Hulk Hogan always had like the worst teams on his team.
I know. Well, I think if you think about it, knowing Hogan now is probably like, I don't want anybody awesome on my team, so
I need to make myself look strong.
I'm gonna put Earthquake. Throw Tito on here, and put the Rockers over here too. Yeah, Warrior and Savage, and Piper, they'll go over there with Mr. Perfect because we don't need him over here. I'm going to put all the shitty guys on my team.
That's pretty much probably what happened. So that to
Brother.
me, that's probably always my memories and it was always like Thanksgiving weekend too. Just the old school one, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. So hey, so we're gonna wrap this up here. Just a quick introductory episode of Hardcore Geek
Quick
Wrestling.
hello and life stories about us.
Yeah, that's right. So next week we'll definitely be doing our Survivor Series predictions. For all of our past episodes, you can check us out at hardcoregeekcast.com. We'll have some archive episodes up there soon. Right here on Spreaker. We are on iHeartRadio, iTunes, pretty much anywhere you can find your favorite pro wrestling podcast. Just go to Spreaker.com/user/hardcoregeek if you want to check out the Hardcore Geek podcast as well. I think I have everything.
Yeah, I think you got everything.
We're on Twitter at Geek Wrestling, so you can't miss us there. Awesome. And also we got an Instagram too. We're everywhere, guys. We're everywhere else. All right. So for myself, for Ryan, for Chase Merriman, I want to say thank you for tuning in to the
Grazie, as they say overseas.
Gracias, yes. Is that overseas?
Grazie, gracias. Yeah,
I don't.
There's a lot of thank yous like grazie, gracias, donata, aloha.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to go with that one. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week for WWE Survivor Series.
Peace.